Welcome to Nevermind the Furthermore. Wait a minute, this music isn't right, the scene isn't right. Hang on. That's more like it. And now it's time to the show for all creatives. Nevermind the Furthermore. Your source for conversation, inspiration, and fun. With your host, Nicholas Anthony Tockert. He's an artist, a writer, a swordsman, and a game designer. He knows how to use the sword and axe in historical battles without anybody getting hurt too much. He's also the Manatee Man, master of marketing. And he may even have a guest or two. One thing, though, to be certain. Just don't call him a cryptid. With that, it's about time for the show. So sit back, enjoy, and have some coffee and chat with us.
Good morning, Nevermorians! Hey, folks, I'm your host, Nick Tockert, here to wake you up and make your Manic Monday a little merrier. Now, before we get into the goods, let's talk about how I'm putting bread on the table. Folks, so buy the Simple Sword. If you haven't, it is the single best quick reference guide to learning how to sword fight. You want to learn to sword fight? Buy this book. You want to be a better author writing fight scenes? Buy this book. Want to learn how to fight with axes? Buy this book instead. But folks, go to Amazon.com/Nicholas Tockert. That's me. And please, buy my books. Helps me keep the lights on right here, right now. Or you can join the Historical Fencing Guild Patreon to help me do the other channel, and I may just set up a special tier for some cross-stream noodliness. But it is Monday. It has been a very Monday. And we, friends, are going to keep it going because why not? Really, let's get a little comfortable here. Why not try to make this Monday a bit yours? We've got some actually juicy topics to talk about and more. But first, let's catch up with some of the comments because I want to talk about my accountability. And Lord, do I have some stuff to say? And I realize my death light isn't on, so hold on. There we go. Death light engaged. Now you can see both sides of my face. Isn't that novel? Now, before we get in, let's see who is first through the door. And let's just not let each other down. That's right. I'm glad to see everybody coming in strong. Donna, Carleen, happy freaking Monday morning. Donna, happy Monday morning to you, hon. I hope your coffee is hot, the AC is cool, and everything's working just like it should. Well, Carl's saying, I'll pull her down. She still remembers Mondays. Prepares to get her money coffee. Money coffee? Money coffee? We are going to talk some bucks here because I'm going to ask you guys some personal questions and we'll see who has the courage to answer. Danke, mein Liebchen. Sorry, my German is really rusty, but I do understand that. Wondering what money coffee is, but not really caring because it's coffee. Yes, money coffee. Coffee that lets you make the money on a misty Monday morning. More coffee, that is, LOL. Okay. She is a sweet cuddle buddle. Aw. Well, aw, says Carl too. We are in agreement. Carl just watched Michaela's motivational morning video here on YouTube with the link. Folks, Michaela puts out a lot of good stuff. Carl tosses toy mice for the kittens, laughs like Cesar Romero's Joker. Good callback. I'm all for that. Coughs, chokes, dang sinus. But only one. The other one, it's ascended. It's beautiful. And anybody who's had that thing knows what it's like, where one's like, hello, and the other's like, writing, colon. Learned another fact about the Aussie murder, so I need to change my timeline. This book will be interesting because I will correct a few podcasters in it. Uh-oh. If you do, Carl, do a show about it. You'll do one, and we'll tag, say, Ryan Bagheera and Shane, whose last name fell off the back of my mind, over at Watcher, and we'll call him on it. Maybe we could get a call back. I mean, if you're going to swing big, swing Medage, Shane Medage. Swing big. Swing big, sweet chariot. Hello, Michaela. Hello, Michaela. How's that career as a torch singer going? I know there was some discussion, and I hope that you have maximized and leaned into that potential, because that's something I think there just aren't enough torch singers in this world, so go for it. Thanks, Carl. Hey, Michaela. No problems. Must make Michaela famous. Hey, Donna, I am famous in my hometown. Infamous doesn't count. Yes, it does. Morning, all. Morning, Nick. Hope all is well. Well, Joe D. McPhee, who just sent me his new cover for the Quick Play edition of AWF Primetime. He's working on going some new directions with it. Very much classic Joe D. Eye candy. He's doing things, and whenever he comes through the door, I do try to be kind and share what he has to say about the world, because he does the same for me, or he will once I get a decent video shown up. So let's hit Jody on that.
Hi, I am Joe D. McPhee. I am the host of From the Desk of a Small Press Publisher, and I want to cordially invite you to watch our show Saturdays at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. On our show, we will have different guests as well as talk about the comic book industry and pop culture. And every so often, I might actually do a drawing session or a 3D rendering session every here and there. So once again, I want to invite you to watch From the Desk of a Small Press Publisher right here on the broadcast channel that you're looking at, whether it be Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Hope to see you there, and make certain that you catch From the Desk of a Small Press Publisher at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Thanks.
Oh, sorry, I tend to rock out to that. And I rocked out with a hot mic, so that means that ad was a little more flavorful than usual. These things happen. I'm not going to apologize, because that's the kind of content you guys come here to see. Hey, Joe D. Hey, Joe. How are you doing? Hey, Joe D. And Nick is here. That's right. By 10:02, I should be well through the door. You know, I try to get in here with about 30 seconds time link, unless something goes massively wrong, which means at least it's entertaining for y'all. But, and I thought I had the market cornered on motivational mornings. Oh, well, good job, Nick. I'm just the second wave, darling. You get those early risers and you keep them going. You bring them up, you solidify them for the day. I just keep the rhythm going. That's all it's about, folks. And we've got Joe Bachman. Morning, Joe. Another fine morning on 8094. You stay safe, and you and your lovely wife get home so that we can do that thing. How is Sunday the 28th? You know, they don't. It's okay. And good morning, Nevermornians. Good morning, Rick Bradley. I hope your gaming's going well. Your trigger finger's fast, and everything is always a blast. Jody, also, let's see. I hope my accountability production is meeting expectations. Still a bit unsure in doing the quick play. Still moving towards putting out putting it out as free or a $3 product. A lot of games will do a limited, quick, free release, especially if you don't have a contract limiting it, where you get it out free to a few people who will be likely to play it for you. So you send it out, and you don't want the creator to run it as much, especially with a game like this. You want to see how new people run it, and then you come back and you put the sale price for everybody else. Maybe offer free things as a contest bonus, a PDF version for free if people, are answer the question first on your show or something. Drum up interest that way, make people want it. It sounds like a good idea. And everybody's asking Joe to stay safe out there. Wow. Let's be careful out there. Anyway, sorry, wrong show. Before I go any farther into the comments, because I'm going to get behind if I don't, and I won't get to talk about, I got some things I want to know. And I'm going to ask some honesty. And one thing I believe is we need to compare wages. When we work in a field, as coworkers, we need to discuss our wages. The companies actively work to keep that from happening. And they do that so that they can get away with paying people less. It's never about the people they pay more. Because then they can do that to convince people that they're paying the people they pay less, that they're actually paying them more. I believe in transparency. So I was doing my numbers. And frankly, my numbers are pretty grim. So in 4 years, 4 months on Patreon, I have made $1,300. And in 6 years on KDP, now this is just through the KDP sales, not through my personal sales when I use them as a print service. I've made $677 in 6 years. That means my total for 6 years since I officially became published outside of my own stuff is $2,000. Yeah. I'm working on that. That needs work. But I'd like to know where you are. How are you doing on the journey? Because just like we want to hashtag bring cookie home and hashtag let cat art, we want to support ourselves as much as possible away from mundane grinds, because we are not mundane people. And there's nothing wrong with that. The world will always need people who can get up every morning, go in, operate the factory job, and go and do what they love at night. There's no shame in that. In fact, I applaud it. We need to have more vocational workers. And at points in my life, I have been such people. But I'm also creative, and I've been busting my hump. So we need to do more. I need to promote you guys more, and we need to figure out what we can do to improve. Now, I have the pleasure of rubbing elbows with some truly talented folks, many of which are in the chat, and some I can catch in other angles. But we need to do more, and we need to do better. Because I was talking to my friend Neil. I know what he makes. And he makes well. Not nearly well enough to feed ourselves, which I believe is a crime, because hardworking authors, artists, and creators should be able to live on what they make from their craft. I think it's a valid craft. Everyone wants media. People want creativity in their life. They want entertainment. They want education. But they don't seem to want to pay for it. And there's this bias, this BS, pardon me getting a little spicy on my own channel, but that art somehow should be free to everyone. And if I could sustain, take care of everything, I'd have no problem with it. But I see my writing and my art and everything is leaving a legacy that hopefully will, the IP can grow and provide money for my child. That's part of the why I work so hard here. And yes, I will sit and promote, and I'm all about promoting, and I'm all about doing it if you love it, even if you don't make money at it. But at the same time, we do need to embrace the practicality. We need to understand that this should make some money because we're working. It's not much to say honest pay for honest work. So we need to figure out how to work on that. And that's part of my mission. This is why I work on bringing up the bottom. This is why I promote the people who only. I have 300 viewers on the Historical Fencing Guild, and about 250 something on this channel. I'd like to get those numbers up because I'm trying to help people and I'm trying to spread the word of applied creativity, of motivation, of getting better, of helping each other rise, because we dance astride the shoulders of giants. When I talk about the comic creators, we stand on the shoulders of people like Kirby and Claremont, and I'm doing that generationally. And the people who don't get named, the writers and artists and creators and letterers and all the people who did that, but also all the animators who slaves making cell after cell to keep these images going, and the comic guys who do their best in no appreciation, the webcomic folks who are trying to make it. I want to build them up because, somewhere in that number of blessed lunatics, a certain Hawaiian clad manatee man is swimming. And maybe it's time we find some warmer waters for ourselves and we build, and if we can't do it, we make it. All right. The agriculture of ideas, the planting of ideas, knowing that you may not see the fruition, but that the idea, the seed of the idea is so valuable. It's more important than having it done in your own life. And that's a lot of what I'm trying to build. Because it's not enough for me to simply. I could probably make a lot more money if I were to forego a couple of my scruples, both digitally and through commissions and such. But to do that, I wouldn't be me. Then I have to be able to look me in the mirror, and I'm not pretty enough to fool myself. I have a face for radio, friends, but that's okay because I've got the voice to keep it going. But I want to know how you're doing. What's your big seller? What stepping from my usual philosophical. Boy, did I butcher the syllables on that one. What works for you? What do you find is, there is no silver bullet. Okay, there is no single one thing that will work for everybody. But I believe, as the military chaplains say, praise the Lord and pass the ammunition. The more good ideas we can exchange with each other, the better stuff, because we are not in competition, friends. That is not what we're here to do. That they will tell us we are in competition at the higher ups. I do not believe it, because each of us both creates something unique and wonderful, and each of us has an angle and a talent and something that others don't have, and finding that and isolating the things that you do that no one else can do, and living it and loving it and moving forward with compassion to each other, but a relentless drive to self-improvement and a reasonable expectation of some level of financial reimbursement. This is not excessive. And the fact that the corporate, we are supposed to be wage slaves, pressure is crashing down on us, drives me bonkers, because, friends, the folks here, the vast majority of people I know, you got your day job and then you got what you love. And we need the day jobs, but we need what you love. And there's no reason we should not be paid rightly and fairly and consistently for what we're doing. Because I will tell you, I have people who come at me every week, at least once a week. I get somebody, I don't know, coming, hey, make this for me for free. Make me a game. Well, how much? Well, okay, we'll talk range. What you want? No. Just do it for free. I know you help people. Do it for free. Now, I believe in equivalent exchange, friends. I don't believe in uh, being a outsource. Outsource is the right word. Here's the problem, folks, and this is life experience from a good guy who's been treated badly by bad people at times. If we don't ask for fair reimbursement sometimes, okay, there's no fuel for the light. And I believe each one of you is a light. And I'm going to get to your comments, and I know I'm behind. And you know what? Today I'm feeling rasty, so I'll be behind. I can catch up. We're all lights. Some are brighter than others. Take that as you will. But that needs fuel, okay? And I'm tired of the mythos of that you won't be recognized in your time. Well, that's not fair. Who's making the money then? Ever wonder that? Who's making the money? Because if it's not me, it's not my family, it's somebody else is profiting off of me. And you. It's guys in suits with no creative nature and no soul. They have jobs. It's important that money keeps getting bounced around. It's important that forms and files and some people are very good at it. But it doesn't seem fair that in most main systems, the system gobbles up the money and the creator, the origin of the product, doesn't. So this has been bugging me because, like I said, I've been talking to people about what they make. And a lot of times it's not fair. I think about how much work they put in. And I find myself asking friends on this Monday morning, is the juice worth the squeeze? Now, the terrible truth, and the truth that is exploited by some of these people, is that they know that the creators, to not create is to not live. And what the greatest tragedy I find in America, well, not the greatest, but it's way up there. There are a lot of tragedies, are the souls who have, unfortunately, tragically, been forced to choose survival or living. And on this Monday morning, I'm as the saying says, Nick woke up and he chose violence. Now, I'm not speaking, I'm speaking hyperbolically. I do not wish to harm anyone physically. But these ideas need some lumps. So here's what I'm going to say, folks. Reach out if you have the funds. Reach out and support people. And if you don't, guess what? That's okay. Because I never said money. Well, I said money, but I said equivalent exchange. Do something nice for people. If you don't have money, Lord knows that's where I live, you promote people. Okay? You talk up the good stories. You support them when they're down. And you should do that anyway, but I do that a whole lot because, in part, I don't have the money to do anything else, but I have the time. So I want you guys to think about that. Because a lot of people I ask, they're like, I don't know. As author creative types, we don't like to look at the stats. We don't like to look at the raw numbers. And if you see the raw numbers and it hits you in the gut like it did around midnight while I was dealing with the issues I had of having written a book twice and splicing which are the best of each, yay, neurodivergence. You have to ask, is the juice worth the squeeze? And I looked at the numbers. And financially on this little pad of paper here, people would tell me, no, you could make that in a paycheck at most jobs. So my issue and my statement is twofold. One, yeah, the juice is worth the squeeze. Because I can't not write. I can't not tell stories. I can't not do things to facilitate the education of others. It is what I am. It is who I am on a primal base level. I want to help. I want to make people feel better, and I want people to educate, because I believe education is the key to everything. If you can educate and you work hard, you're there. But, and again, before I stop this little tirade and get into the comments, just because I do it without the fixation, because many people they love money, they love funds, they lust after it. I find it at times quite perverse, because you lust at it for some fancy shirt that costs more than a car. You lust at it so that you can look down on others. You have money, power, and potential, and that's what people do with it. Get out of here. You interest me not. Gilding shells on hollow souls. I have no time or truck with that. But at the same time, people who are doing the work should not have to fear. They should have to fear of how am I going to function if I get sicker? Because let's be honest, most of the people here have one or two illnesses holding them down, or conditions, or a motley crew of things that nobody's really sure what's what. Part of my weekend was being reminded of that. One late pill, I'm still messed up. I wrote a brief thing mentioning why I hate the word fragile. Because for me, I define myself by my usefulness. And what I choose to be useful towards. But it's hard to find a metric, And it's easy to lose perspective if you look at the top. The top is a dizzying illusion, really, I find. You look, keep your feet grounded on the bottom, and you look up, but not at the distractions. Look at what you want, and you work toward that. So it's serious, folks. It's serious, and it's important, because all of you are great creators, and all of you are building stuff up. And I'm like 20 some odd comments behind. I'm watching the comment ticker. I don't even have the comments up, because this is important, and I want you guys to understand it. So I'm going to go through the comments, because I've been prattling. This is probably going to be one of those longer shows. I'm okay with that. I think I have a lot to say, and it's important, and I want to hear what you have to say, and that's even more important, because that will educate and influence us all. So I'm going to drop to the comments, and we're going to get into the juicy bit. Okay. Boom. Rick Bradley's talking about the Nightmare Collective, Marvin's Night Out, and the award-winning Pulp Reality. Plus, you can hide from the Tales of Weird and Strange over on Rick Bradley's page. Today is Elena Alianas? Am I saying that right? First day of school and her first time riding a school bus. She was very excited this morning, and I'm surprised that I wasn't a blubbering mess. LOL, it'll happen. Yeah. Starting school for Xander was traumatic, and then it turned out to be more so. So I feel you, but I'm sure she'll be okay, and it's a great adventure. It's the first of many. Enjoy it. It sounds odd, but enjoy the privilege, because it really is. Enjoy the privilege that you have. that your child can go to school and have that support. Let's see, Joe Bachman, going to do a bit of formatting on my work in progress this evening. Hopefully, start working on more stories. I want to hear that. I want to see that. I want to see that succeed. Joe, you have some great stories. They're real life. They're insane and highly, highly entertaining. The misadventures of what happens on a construction yard. So let's see that. I'm looking forward to that. More greetings. My critique partner and I finished our book called Monster, A Flip on the Medusa Myth. Excellent. There's so much depth to play with the Medusa stories. So much depth, especially when we talk about female empowerment and how scary that can be in certain cultures. Great goodness. Good morning, Carl. More greetings from Joe. I also finished my Western, Precious Scars. It will be out soon. You're just knocking it out, Michaela. Let's see. Whoa, Echo City in that ad. Yeah, that was because I had a hot mic. There's an echo in Joe's ad. I need to do commercial bump too. Yeah, I really need to set up some commercials, and I've just been so busy doing the everything else. Can't wait to see it. Glenn, wait. Oh, there it is. Nick, Glenn. I'm only like a half hour behind. We're doing good. Hi, everyone. Looks like much needed rain here. The sun has been shining for 2 whole days. How will we cope? You're British. You're going to say could be worse. Well, not bad, actually. With a stiff upper lip. Because that is the British way, and I absolutely respect that. The indomitable not passive isn't right, but quiet optimism of the British people. You know, I heard somewhere that the British people, Great Britain, UK, I'm sorry, and I'm using them interchangeably, and I know they're not, but my dumb American is showing, but has the highest convertibles per capita of any population. Given the weather customarily there, that's fascinating. And it speaks to the optimism of the British people. It's why I love, especially British comedy. I grew up watching the BBC in America, and I adore classic British comedy. Wit and a simple, polite defiance. It's just delightful. And it influenced me greatly. Yes, I'm looking into the torch singing thing. So you're going to do late nights torch singing with Michaela? Will that be the new show? And more greetings. I would post Linnea Fletcher book Monster, but the Amazon link is over 300 characters. Wow. Oh, hey, Frog G. September 17th, folks. Frog G. Voodoo Gods and Magic. Snag that book. Sign up for it on Indiegogo. Look it up. Get there. What number? 69? Yeah. Nice, Johnny. Good to see you. No, I was trying to figure out what people were making so that we could compare and figure out what genres are currently hot, what works real well, what people need to do to move up. Because it helps me, but it helps everybody else, and that's how things work best. Comics, I'm just interested. Tonight on R&D Gaming, since Donovan is still at mom's due to the My Sharona, Miley Cyrus, Peter pandemic. Yes, I said it right. It's going to be me talking about my top 10 favorite games ever. How am I going to whittle it down to that amount? I don't know. But I'll be mentioning way more than 10 games tonight. Come join me. We'll talk about some of your favorite games as well. That sounds like a great conversation piece. Until one of your books sells in the thousands, you can't make enough to live on the income. Or you write magazines. I made more there than on most books. Good to know. See? R&D Gaming tonight, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern, on author page on Facebook. Go subscribe to my YouTube channel, Rick Bryant, so you don't have to hunt the videos down. Have them come to you. YouTube user Lithias42, as well as Twitch TV/Midnight42. 42 is everything. My numbers are 0 for online sales this month and last month. When I go to shelves, I sell out backstock. Online, not so much. I encounter that too. I make usually around $10 a month online, give take. A couple bucks from the app that Joe Bachman and I proposed Joe Bachman made, and his link is bit.ly/JBTechApps, all one word. Look up Joe Bachman stuff. Surely the bottom line is the product offered any good? There's a lot of rubbish out there. I totally agree. You should be putting out the best product you can, whatever it is, and it should mean something to you. These are the two things. But it's interesting to see what makes the money versus what is quality. And I'm going to hit the new comments bump, so it'll be just a second. I'm glad you mentioned that. I need to figure out why Apple is yelling at me about my bank info being wrong, even though they've sent me a payment to me before. Good luck with that, because you should be making money, Joe. Your apps are wonderful and you're doing good stuff. I have a friend who just bought a house with her money from books. That's wonderful. I say she makes more than I and sells more online because she markets better and she writes modern romance. Your time is worth more than anything else. Price it correctly. Well said, Michaela. And a lot of that's what I'm finding, because I've made almost what I've made my entire life. Actually, right around that, because PayPal takes their cuts and stuff. In the few games I've designed on commission. So it's interesting to keep things in perspective. I make more money on other people's games than my own. Good morning, Cindy Koepp. We're joined by Cindy Koepp, and that means we got to promote our beloved Cindy Koepp.
Author Cindy Koepp is writing on the edge. Books include Remnant in the Stars, The Loudest Actions, Lines of Succession, Mindstorm, Condemned Courier, the Yerushalayim series, and Animal Eye. Find author Cindy Koepp at CKOEPP.com today.
That's right, folks. Support Cindy Koepp. She's an incredible author and creator, and just a wonderful woman who promotes everyone freely, and she's an inspiration. She and Frog G especially. So, and while you're here, guys, one of the best ways you can help is share this around, hit the likes. Cindy's plugging Simple Swords and Fighting Axes, Amazon.com, Nicholas Tockert. My books are great. I'm not going to lie. For what I do, they're very niche, and I've been trying to find my place. Because when you get in your niche, it works really well. The trick is finding it. And I'm a generalist. It's just my approach to life. I like to be able to do a lot of things a little. Now, Carl makes a great point here. If money is the important thing, I suppose the key is that you write at least one book that thousands of people want to buy. Do the math. And that's great. I want to make something clear. I'm not ranting for my own annoyance. There's some annoyance. There always is. because when you're fighting imposter syndrome, and I think we all are to one extent or another, except maybe Jody. I don't think Jody has a drop of imposter syndrome in him. That man is fearless. Sometimes you have to look at the numbers. And then sometimes that imposter syndrome will use those numbers against you. And that is one metric. And I have people coming, well, how do you make any money? And I tell them that's what I'm learning. I talk to people who know better than I do. People like Brian K. Morris, people like Carl Witzman, Cindy Koepp, Michaela. And I realize a few of my personal faults. I have them. I'm not this perfect being who dances before you in a wonder of glee and majesty. I too have feet of clay. Wow. Sorry, I almost choked on my own BS there. But the trick, because what happens is I get new people, and new people want to know, and new people ask the same questions. They ask, how can I do it without the hard work? You can't. But it is nice to know the tricks of the trade, how to toil and work. And that's part of why a lot of my production paused for a while, because I realized I'm doing the same thing and I'm not getting anywhere. And while my health was interfering with my ability to mechanically write, I decided to research and look into things. And part of getting better is this wonderful opportunity that Brian K. Morris has given me by allowing me to host the show. I can bend the ears of you wonderful people and learn. And that way I can immediately pass it on to the shy folks who, people come to me, because I'll feel bad. Like I said, I only have a few hundred on each of my YouTube channels. There are people who've been struggling for years to get past 10. So it's all about the perspective. And I do believe in sharing and supporting and building each other up, because the higher the base goes, the better everyone is doing. I don't like the discrepancy between the haves and have-nots in my sphere, in my universe. And it's not a matter of fairness per se. It's a matter of balance. The situation is not equal, and that bothers me. So I'm trying to find ways to make it better for the people who have less. And part of that motivator is money. Now, I do tell people, if you're in it for the money, you're not in it for the right reason. That's not enough. And, there goes my mic, bumping into things. But but at the same time, if people are doing better, you look at what they're doing, what works. My father raised me. I said, if you want what someone else has, you have to do what they do. And he also told me there's no point rubbing elbows with the rich, because he grew up in a very, very affluent community of Oregon. And I was born in that area, and big money. Bentley's at the 7-Eleven, big money. People who are extremely rich stay that way by not sharing it. That's part of it. So I've decided a long time ago, I don't ever expect to be extremely rich. And should fate engage in such a way that I become extremely rich, I probably won't be as much that way very long, because, I see it as a potential for good, not necessarily a potential for merriment. I can find my own fun. I go, I was raised poor boy, as long as I'm healthy, which I am not, you leave me with the bare necessities, and I can do wonders. I'm just trying to learn to live not in that mentality all the time, to allow myself to level up. That's tricky. So we talk about the people who I know are higher up on levels than me. And yeah, you're right. Find the right thing and do it, and it works. Cindy kept talking about the Historical Fencing Guild is 7 p.m. on Friday nights. Yeah, folks, come on by. I know a lot of you now, because I watch the numbers, come here to see me, and that's great. But please stop by there, especially if you have any weapons-based questions. We've got a tight group up there. And the chat is really, really quality. Okay? They're good people in there who know things. And we have good conversations. And that's, I don't run commercials during that because that show isn't for that. It's for that free exchange of ideas and helping people learn. Or I run, I have footage of me fighting and training people for as long as I can. That is not an infinite prospect, but the more good I put out there, the more good it helps. And I see these as different axes, and I think it's important to lean on to those axes. And Amy Hale has neuroses. Well, her book is. Let's see. Let's see what else we have. And I'm not skipping Amy's commercial, but I haven't seen her in the chat for quite some time, so we'll see. Amy Hale's a wonderful author, but I want to get through some comments. Yes, Carl, it's a numbers game. The more books, the more chance you have of selling something that will catch the readers. Sanestein is irreverent holiday humor. Yes, it is, and that's the Smashwords links for Brian. Nazis give boot to the snoot on the original Skyman versus the Masters of Steam. Bear Publications is cool sci-fi. They also have merch that you can find either at bearpublications.com or bit.ly/bearpub. I do pro bono work because of the need as opposed to making the income. Sometimes the equivalency comes from serving a need as opposed. Absolutely. Pro bono work is good. It is a good thing. And please don't think I'm ragging on pro bono. When people come demanding free work, and then demanding you thank them for it, that you have to remember your work doesn't just have value, you do. And there's nothing wrong with helping a friend, and nothing wrong with taking payment in ways that matter to you, but not necessarily financial. I have done things for recipes. I have done art in exchange for shiny rocks, or I've fixed things. It's like, well, what it'll cost me. I need that specific object, and they may not be equivalent externally. It's not like you can break the barter system down to well, this is 2 chickens and it's worth whatever. It makes it hard on the IRS. I kind of pity them because they deal with people like me, who I will do some jobs for absolutely free. I will do some jobs for what I consider payment, and sometimes I do stuff just because. And then I'll meet people where it's like, no, I need a contract for you, and a clear contract. I need money up front and a clear understanding. And it becomes my gut. And I go with my gut. I am very, very trusting of my gut. I took the Myers-Briggs test, and I think it's INFJ. I'm a very strange duck, but that should surprise no one who knows me. So it's what matters to you. Like, for example, I took part of my payment when I did the quick play for Luke in prints. He gave me the equivalent in prints of the book so that I could try to sell them at shows, which I will sell for the exact same price he sells them because you don't undercut your colleagues, or I can donate them to specific libraries or whatever. we agreed on that in part because he was kind of cash strapped at the time, and in part because it was a good opportunity. And I have found I make better money uh, using like Kindle KDP as my printer and then selling the books when I can get to shows. It's just for the last few years, I have not been physically mobile due to illness and this little Peter pandemic thingy. So let's see what else. And I'm sorry if I'm a little sedate today. I was up well past midnight writing on the Simple Spear and trying to splice two documents together because apparently in my assorted deliriums, I wrote it twice, two different ways. If you do the math, let's say you make $2 on every book sold, 10K sold equals only 20 grand a year. Not enough to live for a year, but I've never sold 10K books. Good thing I'm not in it for the money. And a lot of us aren't. And I'm not in it. And yes, if it takes you a year to write a book, you need to write much faster to make a living of it. That's the other thing. I am dealing with the ramifications of my illness. And many of you are finding this too. So what I just need to do is beast my way through the Simple Spear and crank out fiction to fix my problem for a while and just see how that works. I also have to work on my promotion. Thank you for that. And that's something I need to do because I have this lovely habit of promoting everybody else, but not, this goes back to me helping everybody else with their homework and forgetting to do mine. Need fabulous commissioned art by Animalize artist Raul Cruz? Go to subscribestar.raulcruz. And he's also on ArtStation and DeviantArt, although I don't think DeviantArt has been listed. I'm sure that's somewhere in the chat. Yep, that's why people making money are writing 6 or 7 or 8 books a year. Victoria Adams is working on a Nepalese-based fantasy series. I'm interested in that, and Trolls Are Heroes too. I read once in Writer's Digest that about 20 to 100 writers in the whole world can make a living solely by writing. Sorry, just a fact. And that's a valid point to keep in mind. Because right now, the things I do online, I get, I have way over the tax, everything is easily handled. But I don't make enough to have to worry about anything else on the low end because I just don't make enough. I want to see what the baseline is because that's one thing. Numbers. Okay, I'm a gamer. Okay, I'm a gamer and I'm a game designer. And I've decided to take a look at what I'm doing creatively, my different projects, from that mental process. Okay, I'm gamifying a little bit my publications and my goals because I can think in gaming. And one thing that's deadly when you're trying to play any game, especially a game you're fairly new at or you're not very well known at, is an individual number. Okay, because if I said, yes, I made 10,000 this year. 10,000 what? Oh, ruples. during the Russian kind of issues that they've had, that might be worth a loaf of bread, And I'm not bashing Russians. I'm just pulling from some history stuff. And 2, it's far-fetched, but I do tend to go far-fetched with it. And it's really easy. For a lot of us, we look at our subscriber numbers and we go, wow, there are people with millions and millions of subscribers. They get the plaques and stuff on YouTube. Their message is going out. I only have, like I said, I only have a few hundred. 90% of YouTube channels have less than 10 subscribers. Actually, it's more than 90 last time I checked. It's a hard game to play. And my stuff with YouTube isn't about money, although money would be nice. And that's my thing. Although money would be nice is always floating there. Because I want to allow the universe the wiggle room to provide some income. But what am I doing? Well, I'm trying to entertain people. I'm trying to put out books that are, fun, cheap enough that they can get it. Okay? I put my stuff, you see that $2.99 number around Amazon a lot for my books, for like my games. That's because that's as cheap as I can do it and still get most of the royalty. If I go any lower than that, Amazon gets most of the royalty. And that's not quite fair. So, you see the $2.99. Now, I had to go way up on the Simple Sword to cover the fact that I used color. I didn't know. If I had known the print cost of color versus black and white, I might have done it different. But the color makes the few times I use it much easier to understand. That's why I switched formats from this to this, because I make almost the same amount of money. And this costs the customer much less. Now, the Simple Sword was my my thesis. I felt that in my experiences as teaching people for 15 years at the time how to sword fight, it had value, and it was too important. So I wanted to put it in format. Now, that book, I am coming up within 2 weeks of 6 years published through Amazon. Means I make about 110, 115, something, less than that. I'd have to do the exact number, but somewhere between 110 and 120 bucks a year in 6 years. And most of it through my book, these two books. People like it. That's why I wrote The Simple Sword. No, that's not why. I want it for people to be able to learn how to sword fight inexpensively and plain English, because at the time it wasn't there. I think the Fighting Axe debuted at like number 4 in fencing. I mean, it was shocking. I was way up there. I'm very, very proud it bannered. And I'm looking forward to seeing how the Simple Spear does. But working on that is that challenge. It's that that situation where I want to get this out there. And I know I'm doing good because the sales are international. And what I look for are clusters. Because this is a book where I'm teaching people sword fight. And what will happen is I'll get one copy that gets sold and they ship it out to Indonesia or India or Germany or wherever. And then I'll see 2 or 3 more pop up. And what that means is wherever they are, they're reading my book and they're teaching others, and others are buying it. That's what I want. I want to help people. And it's a textbook. Off topic, because people asked, I'm not falsely gesturing when you see me do this stuff. I misplaced my nerves med, so my nerves are a little firing off. And when they do, these 2 fingers and these 2 fingers kind of link up, okay, because of the way my nerves are. So that means they don't like to work independently while I'm dealing with problems. Hence my incredibly slow typing speed, because I have to hunt and peck like this, because this finger is longer, nothing, gestury about it. because I mechanically can't always type properly. And when I do type properly, I have to work on my ergonomic keyboard. So, because somebody asked if I was making fun of somebody or signaling something by doing this, and no. Alrighty, I'm probably way behind in the comments. Let's go back through the comments. Custom toys, Studio Hubris, Wixsite, Studio Hubris, Geeky Fun, Quad City Comic Con, Des Moines Quad Comic and Toy Show, September 24th and 25th. She'll be there with dragons and books and a giant hairy spider. It is coming up on spooky season, and I found glow-in-the-dark yarn, and I was thinking that Cindy Koepp, because she's got some patterns for like ambergris eyeballs, and I'm betting her little octopus could be slightly tweaked and rebranded as a ghosty, especially if they were hung mobile style. Mobile, with the strings. Dang it, come on. Sorry, my hands are being argumentative today. And as you can tell from my advanced stuttering, everything else is. But we're getting through it. That's why I'm a little sedate. This is important stuff. So we're going to keep trucking. But yeah, Cindy, I hope you do well. One thing that I don't get me is some people need to be familiar with your talent for years before they're willing to pay for your labor. Human behavior shrugs. Human behavior is fascinating. I'm sorry, I thought I had that muted. 1 second. I usually do. Thank you. And yes, folks, I know I'm over an hour. If you feel the need to go to Raging 2, please do tell Nita and Daphne I absolutely love them. They're some of my favorite people in the world. But I think this topic is important enough. I'm willing to go a few minutes over. But I will try to catch up with the comments because I'm about half hour behind. I'm not British, I'm English, yes. Dubeek's Quad Comic Song Toy Show, Five Flags Event Center, October 2nd. Good Lord willing, and Creek Don't Rise, Cindy will be there too. Fairy Tales with a Twist. YeOldDragonBooks.com. Denver Martinez does Animalized Colors, The Raider at 05. I follow them on DeviantArt, and you can follow me. Look at DeviantArt/Nick T, or DeviantArt.com/Nick T. Voice acting by our own Skunk Rocker. Tales from the Decoverse by John P. Pica. Nerd Culture, and there's that channel. I'm not sure which that one is. From the desk of a small press publisher. Warriors, and that's Michaela Jades. Hybrids, LukeStoneStudios.com. He is doing a whole new thing on crowdfunding, and I probably should run his commercial, so I'm going to run his commercial today and give my voice just a chance to rest.
Welcome to Hybrids, the Sons of Gods. The epic remaster of the original Trash Day arc is now being collected in a standard trade paperback. With more story, more art, and behind-the-scenes information, this book is the way creator Luke Stone intended the story to be told. This special Arrow Comics Remastered edition is full of energy and excitement. Critically acclaimed and one of independent comics' favourite teen books, you are sure to find yourself lost in this expansive universe. So, secure your copy today in this crowd-funded group buy. Once the funds are collected, the books will be sent off to print and delivered post-haste. Luke and the Arrow Comics team have a perfect record of fulfillment. You can pledge with confidence.
Alrighty. And yeah, Luke isn't just launching a great trade paperback. Lord knows I want a copy. Luke is launching a new, caught it, even with dorky hands, a new service. Lobster Johnson. Let's inflict some justice. Now, a new service where he wants to be able to set up something for independent creators without the big costs and without the big frankly, the fear of cancellation. Some people deserve to not buy their have people choose not to buy their products. But it is so easy to misstep or have someone sabotage you where you can be canceled. It's a scary thing, and that Luke's trying to do something about it. It's one of my favorite things about the man because I associate with a lot of people who do comic books, and a lot of people complain about comic books, but they don't get to do anything about it. They don't like what's going on, and that's your choice. If you don't like something, you don't need to buy it. You're free to. But I will always respect the people who follow with this is a problem. This is what I'm going to try to do about it. Even if they fail, I respect the action and dedication. Rick Bradley had to go. Well, everybody stay creative. You too, Rick. I wrote a magazine article for Video Maker magazine and was paid $500. I did not enjoy it. But I've had only one or two books that have surpassed the figure, and that seems to be the juice squeeze balance. My online sales wouldn't buy soda most months. The only place that I make sales is at cons. It's usually more dragons, little ones, than books. If I didn't enjoy writing, I wouldn't. See, this helps me because this helps me fight back the imposter syndrome because so many people will point these numbers and say, see, you're wasting your time. There's no money. And I mean, guys, I'll hold it up. Those are my numbers. And I used the computer because Captain Dyslexia wanted to verify. Knowing that means I'm still in par, and we're still moving up. But it's like I'm not going to change what I write about because it means something to me. I just hope it's something that will. See, the only reason I care, it's real honest, because my wife makes enough money that we live, as long as nothing goes wrong, what I would call comfortably. We're not wealthy by any means, but we're not suffering. There's always food on the table. I can have that light without panicking. Is it too much, kind of thing. Now, can I afford to fix my windows, fix my car, fix everything? Not yet, but we're getting there. But between my taking care of Alexander, whom I love, he's playing Minecraft right now, and my inability to work standard because, I feel an obligation to try to use what I have to not only do good, because doing good for everyone else is what we're here for, but maybe pull in some bucks, at least to offset some minor luxuries. And that's, that's important. Because I make, my Patreon has made almost twice what my KDP has made with 2/3 the time. Now that money, and see, it's interesting, that money right there stays in a separate account because I do it for the guild, and it all circles back to better gear for my broadcasts, and over the years buying gear for people who can't afford it, things like that. And keeping my gear repaired and up to date as best I can, and buying stuff to review. So it's all that money really doesn't exist. It looks a lot closer to a couple $100 if I were looking, and that's only on things I've spent on me over many years. And I count setting up my list field so that I can train people, things like that, because I don't feel my wife should have to pay for that. But we have to hold ourselves accountable, and we have to try to help people. And we have to try to help people without harming ourselves. And that's something that's taken me a long time to learn. I was always the burn the candle at both ends. The joke was, you got to remember not to light yourself on fire to keep other people warm. And I've had problems with that. So I'm trying, as I deal with that aspect of my personality, that failing, to deal with where that intersects my morality and my philosophy of wanting desperately to help people. And it's not just people pleasing or anything, it's helping people and trying to do good. I feel that there is good that needs to be done, and not enough people are willing to. And you know what? I think I'll always feel like I have a bit of red in my ledger. Not for things that most people know about, not for most that things that even if I were saner, I would say are justified. But it's just part of who I am. So thank you guys for helping me. Now I'm going to knock through a bunch of these comments. Mostly I write about what I like, and that's not so popular, but that matters. I would rather have, 10 dedicated fans than 10, 10,000 that don't really care. I'm told I would sell more if I would write romance. Bleh, not that interesting. I'd rather write fun stuff and sell a few. Yep, I make more money editing and ghostwriting than my own books bring in. And thus ends my break. Go to Sergeant Art 76 for vintage cartooniness. Don't forget to tip your host. Bring cookie, hashtag bring cookie home. Have fun storming the castle. Go to Patreon, support nifty artists and writers. Catch up with y'all later. Stop lying. I may have to take special meds to defeat imposter syndrome. Every time I am approached for a commission is killer for me because I deal with. I hate people letting people down due to expectations. I can't make the heart sign right now because my hands aren't working. It's a bad hand day. So just understand I feel you and I love you. And just you've covered it well, Joe. One of the keys that help me deal with it more is that I'm constant state of learning my craft and taking time to work on what I need to improve. Brilliant. One of the reasons the RPG is not being talked about a lot is due to it being incomplete. I will feel more like an imposter until it's completed. Some people may see it as being fearless. What I'm saying is you maintain a integrity to your art style and your choices of media, despite the fact that some people have made some well-written criticisms and some just rude criticisms. You've dedicated to yourself and how you want to do stuff, and that's important. Yeah, I will be rocking some Tylenol after this. Maybe. Not supposed to. Hey, guys. Hey, Grat Lankard. Nothing wrong with... Glenn says, nothing wrong with having money. Nothing. It's how one acquires it. Very valid. Sorry I'm late. It was a weekend from heck. I'm sorry to hear that. If you want to vent, feel free. I look at it as if it ain't done, it's only wishful talk. Get it done and then say something. Very good, Joe. That's where I'm standing on several projects. My day job is that I set up concerts, and the 3 biggest concerts of the year were this weekend. I bet that kicked your butt. Hello, Grant. Hey, Carl, Grant Lankard, Grant. Trying to compete with Nick after Nick's show. Not trying to please watch because I'll be on there. Oh, I didn't realize you were going to be on there. Yes, watch it. People who know you and come up to you, demand free work, they are users, not friends. I trade for things. If somebody can't pay, I have lots of tasks they could do. Same for me. I'm late. No worries, Mike. Mike Jimmy Lorsha DeBron is doing great. He's his life on Korra is amazing. And I'm glad he got on adventures. Glenn's laughing at Mike Jimmy. I can't help it. They're laughing. Hello. Hey, Dave. Dave Brink at Genuine Comics will be having Luke Stone tonight. I want to say it's 7 p.m. on his YouTube channel. Look it up. Hey, Mike. That's okay. So is Nick. Hey, Genuine. Hey, Mike. Hey, Donna. Great. Okay. Boom. Daphne and have a good guest on. Angie's all fired up this morning. Fellow comic book creator pulled some crappy competitive tactics on me. I don't want to go too in detail about it. And well, I'm sorry to hear that. It will show in the end. I believe that if we rise up above that, if you look my logo on my other channel and when I do fencing stuff, it's a white boot, and I never do anything for just one reason. Part of that is you can't walk through the muck in white boots. You have to rise above. You have to literally take the high road. So part of that is a reminder not to go places I don't feel comfortable because I don't want to get my boots dirty, morally speaking. Rise above it. Do what you need to do. Remember who they are, but don't let it slow you down. Another secret, if you're planning to slowly make money on books, you need to be prepared for the long haul to reach a break point to even see profit. Grant her protective spirit is engaged. You need to see how your book or comic can cross over to medias, and that's why the Big Stompy Robots universe I've been building. It's a great game. I have 2 levels done. I have a 3rd level coming. 2 novellas done. I have the concepts for 5 or 6 jotted out that I need to work on. And I think this just needs to be a busy week for me. Now that it's roughly cool enough and I'm getting some of the other things done in my life, I just need to hammer out some stuff. And I'm hoping I can. Thank you for the advice. But we have gone quite long. I wanted to throw a commercial or 2 up. I did, Joe. I didn't. Well, let's do the Rock and Roll Art Goddess because I have to talk through that, and then we'll do Robin Yoda. Now, folks, our friend Kat can't be here in the mornings because she's a teacher, and we love her dearly. She is an art instructor at 2 different middle schools. This is not an easy place to be, and yet in some of the most negative stuff and a rough town, she's bringing light and creativity and helping great people get greater. So I really want you guys to follow Kat on her YouTube channel. Look up the Rock and Roll Art Goddess. Follow her everywhere you can. She's on Instagram. She's got a lot of channels. I need to get a better lineup for her. But please support Kat. She's just incredible. I'm always hesitant to fully, drop her name because she doesn't go by that online as a teacher. But if you pay attention, you can find it. So let's support her. The other thing I want to do before I go, I want to run one more banner, one more ad. And, I'll run her, and I'm going to do something special for Sterling later.
Hi, bunnies. This is Robin Yoda, just wanting to let you know I have a Twitch channel. It's twitch.tv/Robin Yoda. You can catch me there Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Pacific playing Stardew Valley, Saturdays at 2 p.m. playing The Sims 4, and Sundays at 10 a.m. Pacific playing a random game from my Game Pass library. You can also find me Mondays on my YouTube channel, Robin Yoda the Lilac Bunny. I hope to see you all there. Thanks for watching.
All right. Robin Yoda is one of those people I've known a very, very, very long time. And she's just doing reviews. I want to encourage her. I want to build her up. So my overall goal is to get her to 100 subscribers so that she can share her link around and so that I can help her do the more creative things that she wants to do. So please go there. After all that, I need to say this. I'm not in it for the money. I write books to help people. I make games that I choose to be. I prefer making rules-light games because that's the most inclusive. That's what pulls people into the hobby. They need, you have to, as a manatee, I understand you have to have warm, shallow water to get started in life. And there's no shame in that. And I'm trying to provide a cove, if you will, for all the little fishes trying to get bigger. And I hope you guys find comfort and safety here. I hope the content of this little place I'm digging out brings you some joy and help. And I hope, you get what you need, both creatively and financially. And I don't think there's any harm in wanting both. I think it's tragic that our society does not respect our creators nearly enough. So I will see you guys Wednesday right here, where we'll be talking something else, probably more active. I'm a little tired today. And Friday, we'll all be right back here for Nevermind the Furthermore. Thursday morning, I'll be doing Nerd Bacon with my buddy Luke Stone, and that's always good and spicy. And Friday night at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern, I'll be hosting the Historical Fencing Guild's live stream. If you wish to support me at all, you feel free to hit the PayPal and drop me a tip at paypal.me/Nicholas Tockert. While we're here, support Brian K. Morris, the man who made the show and helped make me running it possible. And reach out to one of the creators on the list and look at their work. I'm not saying you have to buy it. Look at it. A lot of people, if you have Kindle, you can scroll through their work for free. Do it. Look through the stuff. And then, if you like their work and you've read it through Kindle for free, if they do KDP, buy a digital copy, because then they get paid twice. Supporting each other will help make things better for everybody. And you get good entertainment. Next episode, I think I want to talk about the books you all like. I want to hear cross promotion and things that help you create and write and things you've enjoyed lately. Okay? So until next time, guys, write and draw and create, because you can't edit a blank page. And I will see you next time on Nevermind the Furthermore.